I think it's down to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to make the first move. Whether or not it would be accepted by William and Catherine, I doubt very much it would be. There's too much water now gone under that bridge, isn't it? After everything that Harry and Meghan have done with the Oprah Winfrey interview, that Netflix show, Spare, the flamboyant, curtsey by Meghan on the show as well. There's too much gone under the bridge now and if they're going to make the move, I'm not so sure that William and Catherine would respond favourably. William's got a lot more on his mind at the moment than repairing the troubles with his own brother. He's got his wife to look after and his 3 children. They are the most important things that are going on. And if Harry was that keen on making some sort of move towards William, pity he didn't wish him a happy 42nd birthday.
No, we didn't hear anything.
Nothing.
Like that. Privately or publicly.
Yeah, privately or publicly. Yeah. We heard nothing.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of sad. I sometimes think it's sad, but they've made their bed. Harry and Meghan have made their bed.
Any rift in any family is very, very sad. They are doing it in the full glare of publicity, and that's obviously 10 times worse than you falling out with your sister or brother or father or mother or whatever. But Harry's caused an awful lot of pain to various members of the royal family: his father, his brother, his sister-in-law. It's not a great sight.
But from that quote, we get the impression that they're not going to do it unless someone else meets them in the middle, which is never going to happen.
No, I don't think it's ever going to happen, and I suspect that one of the driving forces in not making it happen is Meghan herself. I'm not trying to blame her for everything. I don't blame her for everything, but I don't think that things that she's doing help matters.
Fine. Let's try and finish on a more fun note,
sure.
Charlie, shall we? So I've got every week.
Welcome back, listeners, to Meghan and Harry Tales, the channel that cuts through the noise and dives deep into the realities of the Sussexes' journey. Today, we're tackling yet another attempt to perpetuate division within the royal family, this time with claims that Prince William and Princess Kate may never forgive Meghan and Harry. Let's break it all down. First, let's address the recurring theme in this latest story: forgiveness. Charles Rae, a former royal correspondent, appeared on The Sun's royal exclusive show to peddle the tired idea that Prince Harry and Meghan should make the first move if reconciliation is ever to happen. According to Rae, William and Kate supposedly harbour such deep wounds that forgiveness may be impossible. Now, isn't it fascinating that the burden of reconciliation is repeatedly placed on Meghan and Harry? No mention of the hostility or icy reception they faced within the royal household, no accountability for the media smear campaigns or the deafening silence from royal aides when those campaigns spiralled out of control. Yet again, it's the Sussexes who are painted as the troublemakers. Forgiveness. It's a word that hangs heavy over Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The expectation that they will seek reconciliation, bridge the chasm with the royal family. But why is the onus placed solely upon them? Charles Rae, a respected royal commentator, recently voiced this sentiment. He questioned why Harry and Meghan are perpetually expected to make the first move. Why is it their responsibility to mend the fractured relationships? These are not simple questions. There are deep wounds, years of hurt feelings, and a sense of betrayal on both sides. However, demanding forgiveness solely from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex ignores the bigger picture. It perpetuates a harmful narrative, one that paints them as the sole instigators of conflict. This unbalanced view disregards any responsibility the royal family might bear for the breakdown in relations. It is essential to acknowledge the complexities of this situation, to move beyond simplistic narratives of blame and guilt. For true healing to occur, there must be a willingness to understand the perspectives of all involved. It's time for a shift in focus, a move towards empathy and away from condemnation. The narrative surrounding Harry and Meghan is often skewed. They are quickly labelled as troublemakers, their actions scrutinised and judged. The Oprah interview, their Netflix series often cited as betrayals, but are they truly acts of malice or desperate pleas to reclaim their story? The Oprah interview, was their chance to speak their truth, to share their experiences. It was their truth, their lived experiences. To dismiss it as gossip silences their voices. The Netflix series showed their struggles and love. It allowed them to control the narrative. Criticisms ignore issues of racism, mental health, and the pressure of royal life. It's time to challenge this one-sided perspective. Every action, every word uttered by Harry and Meghan is placed under a microscope. Their body language is analysed, their clothing choices dissected. Even simple gestures, such as Meghan's curtsey, are twisted into evidence of disrespect. This constant scrutiny creates an impossible environment where every move is scrutinised and judged. It's crucial to remember that Harry and Meghan are human beings. They are not characters in a fairy tale, but real people with real emotions and experiences. The pressure they face is immense, the expectations unrealistic. To expect them to navigate this public scrutiny flawlessly is naive. The media plays a significant role in shaping public perception. Headlines scream of scandals, rumours are presented as facts, and every interaction is analysed for hidden meaning. This relentless negativity creates a climate of hostility, making it impossible for Harry and Meghan to simply exist without being judged. It's time for a more nuanced approach, one that recognises the humanity of those involved. Instead of focusing on perceived slights and manufactured scandals, let's focus on understanding the pressures they face and the challenges they overcome. Section 4. Unseen Struggles. While the struggles of the royal family are well documented, the hardships faced by Harry and Meghan are often overlooked. Harry, who lost his mother at a young age, has spoken openly about his mental health struggles. Meghan, a biracial woman navigating a predominantly white institution, has faced racism and prejudice. Their decision to step back from royal duties was not a whim, but a necessary step to protect their mental health and their family. They chose to prioritise their well-being, to break free from a system that was no longer serving them. This act of self-preservation should be commended, not condemned. It's easy to judge from the outside, to assume that their lives are filled with privilege and ease. But the reality is far more complex. They have endured immense pressure, public scrutiny, and personal attacks. To dismiss their struggles is to ignore their humanity, to deny the very real pain they have experienced. Section 5. A moment of clarity. The Queen's passing was a moment of profound sadness for the entire royal family. It was a time for unity, for coming together to mourn a beloved monarch. However, even in grief, the scrutiny of Harry and Meghan continued. Meghan's decision not to travel to Balmoral was immediately interpreted as a snub, a selfish act. It's essential to remember that grief is a deeply personal experience. There is no right or wrong way to grieve, no prescribed timeline for healing. Meghan, who was navigating her own grief while also facing intense public scrutiny, made the decision that felt right for her. To judge her for this is to misunderstand the complexities of loss and healing. Instead of seeking to understand her perspective, the media jump to conclusions, fueling the narrative that she's cold and uncaring. This rush to judgment ignores the very real possibility that she was protecting her own mental health, choosing to grieve in a way that felt safe and manageable. Section 6. The Scapegoats. Harry and Meghan have become convenient scapegoats for the royal family. Their every move is scrutinised, their motives questioned, and their actions interpreted in the worst possible light. They are blamed for everything from declining public opinion to internal family strife. This scapegoating deflects attention from the institution itself, from its own internal struggles and outdated practices. By focusing on Harry and Meghan as the source of all problems, the royal family avoids addressing its own shortcomings. It's time to move beyond this simplistic narrative. The royal family must be willing to adapt and evolve. It must address its own internal issues, confront its past, and embrace a more inclusive future. The media has a responsibility to foster understanding. It's time for a more nuanced approach, one that prioritises empathy over sensationalism. It is time to shift the lens, Instead of asking when Meghan and Harry will apologise, maybe we should ask when the royal establishment and its enablers in the media will acknowledge the harm they've inflicted. Until then, we'll keep setting the record straight. Thank you for joining me today on Meghan and Harry Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more truth-telling. This is Adrian signing off.